My name is R.D. Jones, and I'm the Executive Director of Clearly College Park, the Business and Industrial Development Authority for the City of College Park. And welcome to the Clearly College Park podcast. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you this question. What is the name of the railroad stop in the city of College Park? If you do not know, please stay tuned to the end of the show. Today, our guest is Mr. Kwame Johnson, who serves as the president and CEO of the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Metro Atlanta. Welcome, Kwame.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. So, Kwame, please tell us a little bit about your background first.
Yeah, so again, thanks for having me come talk about the work that we're doing. Kwame Johnson, relatively new to Atlanta. I've been here about 4 years. I'm originally from Syracuse, New York. I'm a northerner. I've been coming
Cold,
south.
Right?
Yes, man. And Syracuse has the most snow and also the most poverty in the country. You wouldn't know that. They rank number one for both. The most poverty for minorities in the country. Syracuse is number one. Detroit is number two. Wow. So I've been on a mission ever since getting out of Syracuse to really help young people. Experienced some challenges myself, going to jail at 17, almost throwing my life away. Having a mentor step in my life helped me get through that tough patch and become one of the first kids to ever take the SATs behind bars, to go to Hampton University, to go to Harvard, to do a lot of different things, which really stems back to my mentoring relationship. And glad to just be a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, because that's what we do every day.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's dig back a little deeper. Let's talk about your family, your upbringing and everything. Were you born in Syracuse and raised there your entire life?
Yes, born and raised in Syracuse. Grew up in an amazing family. Mother was a nurse by trade. Also was into education. Served on the school board. Father, a health teacher in a local high school for 25 plus years. But grew up in a really tough environment. Mm-hmm. And I tell people the only bad decision my parents made ever was to not leave. And they thought they could change my community, and it changed us. It changed me. And just making bad decisions, being on the right track for most of my life, but as a senior or junior in high school, hanging with the wrong crowd that thought it was cool to, carry a gun and do different things, and found myself facing many years in prison. Over 15 at the age of 17. And luckily, I was able to receive what's called Youthful Offender, where your record is reduced, where your record is sealed and your sentence is reduced. But I had to do a year, which was my senior year in high school. Wow. And my coach at the time said, "We're going to get you through this." And he would literally bring me my schoolwork every day, every week. He'd come pick it up, bring it in, turn it in, and I did my schoolwork. And we put in place a plan to take my SATs. We got that done. First time it ever happened in the United States of America. Hampton University is where I went, school that gave me a shot after getting out of jail. And at the age of 19, going into my second year at Hampton, I decided to leave Hampton and go into the nonprofit sector. And the reason I did that is because of the young men I met while I was in jail. One was Anthony, and he met his father in jail for the first time. And I could never forget his story. And that forced me to really think about what can I do to give back since I survived the situation. And what I decided to do was lean in and try to help more young men in particular not make the same decisions I made. And I've been doing that for the past 17 years.
Wow. Okay. So you've been with the organization for the last 17 years?
No. So I've been with Big Brothers Big Sisters for 2 years.
Okay.
But I've been in youth development my whole career exclusively. This is all I've done. I've done work in different cities, different communities. And Atlanta is a very special place. Has a lot of opportunity, in particular College Park, that has a lot of challenges, but also a lot of opportunities. And I'm just, appreciate being here to be able to talk about how we can do more work south of the city, because too often I think the south of the city doesn't get talked about enough, and there's not enough resources here. So I'm glad to be partnering and to do more work here.
Okay. So tell our guest a little bit about Big Brothers Big Sisters. Recently, you came to one of my chamber, the ATL Airport Chamber. You came there and you made a presentation, and that's one of the first times I've ever heard anyone talk about Big Brothers Big Sisters. I've always heard of it, but didn't really know the logistics of it and everything. I knew it was a good organization, and it really you touched my heart when you were talking about the littles that you guys work with.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about Big Brothers Big Sisters, please.
Yes. So we're a national mentoring organization.
Okay.
We've been here in Atlanta for 60 years. Next year is our 60-year anniversary. But over the recent years, we haven't been out enough talking about the work. So we are loving to come out and do partnerships and talk about the work, because not everyone knows about what we do today. If you're 45 and up, you probably heard of us, but we've learned that millennials don't know enough about what we're doing and how they can get plugged in. So in short, what we do is one-to-one mentoring. So we match adults, which we call bigs, with kids, which we call littles. And through that mentoring relationship, magic happens. We ask for adults who want to do it to commit to a year minimum. We know if you can't stick in a young person's life for at least a year, you can do more damage. And we ask for 8 hours minimum a month. So, for example, I mentor a young man whose name is Anthony. Anthony's father passed when he was very young in a motorcycle accident. Anthony's 8 years old. And I'm stepping in to be a guide, a mentor, a resource, not to be his father, but just to help him throughout life. So we hang out on the weekends, we do different things, we have conversations, and that's what we're asking others to do. Can you step up to be a big? We have roughly 200 kids on a waiting list here in this area. These are, in particular, some boys who've been waiting for over 2 years for a big brother.
Wow.
A parent coming in saying, I need help, and I've just been really pushing to get the word out. And that's why we appreciate this opportunity to talk about how we can make sure we match more kids in College Park with big brothers and big sisters.
Okay. So tell me, how do parents actually that are interested in having their children be a part of the program, how does that happen? I mean, how are they identified?
So typically parents hear about us through word of mouth. They hear about us in their schools, through guidance counselors, and then they reach out. And we have them come into our office and get enrolled. And when that happens, their child, once they're enrolled, they get added to our waiting list. Okay. And again, in College Park area in general, we have about 200 kids. Wow. Mostly are boys, parents who've come in and said, we need help, and we want to get our kids enrolled. So my task and our staff's task is to go out and find volunteers, to find people who want to get involved, who are 21 and up, who want to just give back and have some extra time to commit to do that.
Okay. And what are the qualifications for an individual, an adult that wanted to be a big?
So really it's about, do you want to spend some time with a young person? So you have to be 21 and up.
Okay.
You have to commit to a year. Most of our matches last 3 years. Some last 10, 20 years. And you have to commit to the 8 hours a minimum per month to spend with the young person. There's a vetting process we put you through to make sure that this is the right fit for you. To make sure you're safe for children, and make sure that you're properly trained to be a mentor. So the requirements are really just that year commitment to 8 hours per month, and that you're an adult. And if you can meet those requirements, we'd love to have you go through our process.
Okay. Well, tell me about, what are the statistics as far as kids that participate in your program and them, I guess, being, successful and moving on and being productive in life, and those that that are not a part of the program that need the services? Are there any statistics that you can?
Yes, no, definitely. A lot of the kids we work with come from low-income backgrounds, free and reduced lunch schools, in some cases single-parent households. About 50% of our kids have a family member who's incarcerated.
50%.
50% have a family member who's incarcerated. And we work with about 1,500 kids across the metropolitan.
Wow.
So we work with a lot of kids. We have a few hundred on our waiting list. So that's sort of the makeup of the kids we serve. Now, what drew me to the organization, and I've been a fan my whole career, is at the results. So over 95% of our kids go to next grade level. Over 95% graduate high school on time. 95%. And what's really near and dear to me, 97% never touch the criminal justice system. They never even touch it. And that's the best way, I think. And I think we have a solution for the city, not only the city, but I think we have a solution for the country. And what I tell people, it's really about relationships. Relationships change people, not programs. I continue to preach that. We're a relationship organization. There's others out there as well. But it's really about helping guide a young person through the challenges and decisions they have to make in real time. When you can do that, you can take a kid that's in a really tough situation, and I've just seen over and over situations where kids become hopeful and make it through their situation. Even if their situation doesn't change, they're able to push through.
Okay. And what is the percentage of kids that are in the program that may come from single-parent households?
Single-parent households is 71%.
Wow.
Yes, it's a big percentage. I have a lot of mothers coming in who are trying to do it on their own and make it work, and that's a big need. So my biggest ask is to get more men to step up, particularly African American men who have the time to do it, because I have a lot of single parents who are coming in and saying, "Hey, I need help with my 8-year-old boy or my 12-year-old boy, and I want to be able to meet that need."
Okay. Well, I'm a parent, married. I have 5 kids, 2 of them out of the house now. And if I was interested in being a big, is there any issue with me already having kids and then having another child, me to mentor a child? Or should it be a person that doesn't have any kids?
No, not a problem at all. And it's a great question because it comes up a lot. And that's something I had to think about because I have a 6-year-old son. And I want to make sure I'm giving him enough time as well. So what we do is we talk to you about your situation, your work schedule, just your life in general, and make sure it's the right fit for you at this particular time in your life. If you are traveling, 80% of the time and getting ready to move and, dealing with a lot of different things, it may not just be the right time. But majority of our bigs have other situations going on in their lives. They have kids. So we ask that you create a one-on-one relationship with that young person. But over time, you can start to incorporate them into your family and a part of your life. So it's something that I think anyone can do. And I don't ask people to create new time. I ask you to incorporate this young person in your existing time. We, as gentlemen, we all go to the barbershop, get our hair cut. We go to the grocery store.
They
go
don't
to the
get
park.
much business from me.
I don't
though.
view me either, man. We both got the ballies, and we're saving money by doing ourselves, man. But if you do go to the barbershop, you can pick a young man up, bring him there with you, have a conversation. I'm sure the barber will give you a break and have a conversation on the way home. And that's one outing. Or if you're going to the park or you're going to the grocery store, a lot of these things we take for granted that we do every day. Young people don't get exposure to often. And incorporating that young person and just being a guide and a resource and be able to talk to them about things that they may not be able to talk to their mother about, or they may not have friends around them that they feel comfortable talking to those things about, it makes a big difference.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of things in my life that I take for granted because, I had 2 parents in my life, grandparents. I had a huge support system as it is. What do you feel that the success is of the Big Brothers Big Sisters program? Why is it so successful? 95% of the kids graduate. 95% of them don't get involved into the penal system. What do you think the reason for the success is?
I think there's really 3 ingredients that I've learned over the years really help a young person or anybody go to the next level. The first thing is removing barriers. Too often our young people are born into environments and barriers that they had no choice. They had no choice for the zip code they were born into, the school they went to, the resources in their community. So how can you, which we do through our partners, if we find out there's an issue, whether it's an academic issue or a food issue, a housing issue, through our partners, we can connect that family to those resources. So the first step is removing the barriers. The second step is empowerment. How can you empower a young person to know that they can do it on their own? I don't believe in handouts. I believe in hand-ups, but not handouts. And I believe on being on tap, but not on top. So how can a mentor empower you to know that, you can get this schoolwork done? You may be struggling, but there's some resources around here. This is how you can do it, because you're going to have to get through life making these things happen. No one's going to do it for you. That's the reality of life. So empowerment is the second one. And the third, which I think is the most powerful one, which if the 2 but prior didn't exist, I think a person can still make it out of whatever they're dealing with, is hope. So through a relationship, you can become hopeful that your situation will change. Young people need to see a living, tangible example. I tell people all the time, young people don't want to hear no sermon. They want to see one. Show me a sermon. Show me that it's possible. Kwame, you were in jail facing all this time. You made it out. Show me how you did that. There are a lot of people out there who've been through things, similar situations these young people are facing. They made it out. They figured it out. Why not be able to give that example, give that hope to a young person and say, you know what, regardless of what's going on, you can make it. There are a lot of resources out here. Let me help you get through this.
Okay. So, how can the community be of the greatest assistance to the Big Brothers Big Sisters program?
So, I think if there's anyone who's listening who's interested, who wants to do it themselves, go to our website, bigbrothersbigsisters.org, and it's very easy to sign up to become a big. If you have people who you know that work with you or in your networks, or if you have access, we will come in and provide that information. Ironically, we just did a session last week here in partnership with 2 Chainz and the True Foundation and his wife Keisha. At their daycare here, we had a session where we invited people to come learn about the program. So if there's other businesses or leaders in the community who would invite me in to come talk to your constituents, we'd love to do that. Churches, it's really about getting the word out. And I've found that once someone hears about it and they receive that challenge that, this is something I want to do, they step up and do it. To your point, a lot of people I think just don't know exactly how they can get involved. They've heard of us. They don't understand exactly what it means. And it's really about going to the website, getting signed up. And if you have people in your networks, we'd love to come in and talk about the work.
Okay. And I know that the Big Brothers Big Sisters program is a national organization.
Yes.
How is it funded overall as far as support and everything? Would more resources make what you guys do easier? Or, what?
Yes, it would. We're always out fundraising. We receive funding from different companies, Coca-Cola, UPS, different foundations, the Bernie Marcus Foundation, Arthur Blank Foundation are some of our supporters. Individuals give us money, whether that's $20 or a couple $1,000. So it's a combination of all those resources, and we continue to need more of that because it costs us about $1,500 to support a match for a year. So we're tasked with going out and raising that money, also out raising and getting people to sign up to be bigs. So that $1,500 covers all the vetting and things we do with bigs who go through the process, our training that we provide bigs. And then once you become a big brother or a big sister, you receive a coach on my staff who actually guides you through the relationship. Because there's things that come up, there's questions you may have, there's situations and challenges that may come up, and we're there to guide you. So we check in with you monthly and talk to you about the match and make sure you're supported. And we support not only the big, but also the family as well.
Okay. Now, is there anything that the bigs need to put out financially to be a part of the program,
No.
other than what they may do with the
little? And we emphasize that this is not a money thing. This is really about your time and your experience and you pouring into a young person. There may be times when you go out and do different things, but we also provide tickets to games, to Hawks games, to football games. We have a lot of partnerships around the community where you can do an outing and not have to spend money. So we really encourage just for you to not go in this thinking about spending a whole lot of money, but really just spending the time.
Okay. Yeah, you ran right. I guess you answered my next question. I was going to ask what type of, activities would be appropriate. But earlier you said it could be going to the grocery store, going to the barbershop, going to games, sporting events.
Different things. And we work with you in the beginning with the parent to figure out, what are some of the things you'd like your son or daughter to work on. It may be confidence. It may be some academic things. So we put in place a plan, and we suggest different things that you all can do together to work on whatever that challenge may be. It may be academic, so we suggest maybe going to the library to work on a particular topic, or just spending time helping that young person build some confidence. Soft skills is real big. It's a lot of young people don't have the soft skills. That's an easy way that you can really help a young person is show them how to shake a hand, how to dress appropriately, how to articulate, just basic things they're not going to get necessarily in the school. A mentor can help fill those holes.
Yeah. Has it ever been your experience that any time a big was involved with a little that it may have sparked, I guess, a negative behavior as opposed to positive, helping them out?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I can't think of any that come to mind. Of course, there are matches that sometimes just don't work out, and we have a process to handle that. In most cases, someone moves. So we match you on a few criteria. One is based on where you live. So we match you within 15 miles of where you live. We know it's not realistic for you to travel 20 miles or 30 miles. You might say that up front, but the research and our data shows of doing it 60 years is not gonna work. And then we also match you based on preference. So similar to Match.com, we spend a lot of time around making sure the match is right and it lasts. So you may want to work with a young man who's 12 years old, who's into sports, who may be a little introverted, right? We look at all those things and make that match based on that. But when the situations don't work out, it's typically because someone moved, a family moved out of town or something of that sort, or someone went through a life event, a divorce, or a change of a job, and just don't have the time to be a part of the match anymore.
Okay. We've talked a lot about matches and bigs being matched to littles, individuals. But have you ever if there was an organization out there that wanted to work with littles, is that part of can that be a possibility also?
Yes, I'm a partnerships guy, 100%. I think we are, much better as a sector, as a nonprofit sector, if we work together with other nonprofits. So there are a lot of things we don't do. We do mentoring, one-to-one. That is our sweet spot. So we partner with organizations such as the STEAM Truck, who comes in and does STEM activities with the kids and gives them exposure. There's other mentoring organizations we may refer a young person to. We may bring in a corporate partner, a bank, to do a financial literacy course. So we're always looking for different partners to figure out how can you add value to what we're doing. We partner with other organizations like that Promise Center, the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA. These are all other agencies doing great work with kids and can help sort of add on to what we're already doing.
Okay. And what is the age limit for littles, youngest to oldest?
Yep. So we work with kids who are 8 to 18.
Okay.
We match from 8 all the way to 14. And at 14, we stop matching because we want that match to last through high school. And at 18, they graduate from our program and move into our alumni network. So we hold a graduation each year for all of our seniors. And again, over 95% of our kids graduate on time and avoid the criminal justice system. So, but yeah, 8 to 18 is the age range.
Okay. Well, that's incredible. It seems that yourself, the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, you do some awesome work. And the thing is, it's such a shame because it's kind of like it's been a secret to me in my 40 plus years, on this earth, of the good work that's going on. What type of marketing does Big Brothers Big Sisters do? You said that you're doing more in the Atlanta metro area now, but like I said, I'm from Southeast Georgia, and it's like unheard of there.
Yes.
Now that I'm here in Atlanta, I hear about it more so, but I see about the Boys and Girls Club. I hear about them all the time, but that's kind of more so a facility,
yes,
than an organization for mentoring.
Yes, and the Boys and Girls Club is, I would say, an organization that is leading the way on marketing. And a lot of us are learning from the things that they've been able to do, and they've been doing for a long time. So we actually I joined the organization 2 years ago as a new CEO, and about a year ago we launched our rebrand. So we changed our logo, we changed our colors. We realized that, we've been around a long time. We're a legacy organization, been around 100 years, but in a lot of ways, there's a lot of people that just don't know about us. So we've been putting the word out. We're doing a lot on social media now, on our digital strategy. You'll see billboards around town. We're doing a lot more. We're getting out in the community. We're looking at our office is now downtown. We're looking at relocating our headquarters into a different community, but then also setting up satellites in different parts of the city. Having a satellite out here in College Park is my goal, where you can see us every day if you live here. Atlanta is a big piece of land, huge.
Yeah.
And we've learned that, being downtown solely is not going to be enough, in that people live in their communities and they operate in their communities. So we're doing much more to get out. So you'll see a lot more of us, and doing these radio interviews and podcasts helps us do that. So we really appreciate that.
Okay. Well, we're about to wrap up, but could you provide for our viewers today a success story that kind of touched your heart that you would like to share with us of a match that you guys put together?
Yes, it's a unique story, and I won't say any names, but I met a young lady who lives in College Park, and she has 4 children, 4 boys. One is 22, one is 17, one is 14, and one is 8. They have all gone through our program.
Wow.
And the 22-year-old has graduated college. He's now working. The 17-year-old is about to go into college. The younger one is doing good in school, and then the 8-year-old is just getting enrolled in our program now.
Sweet.
And I've never met a family, and she literally, I met her recently here at College Park. We did the session around the corner. She's had a whole family go through the program. Jamal is another young man, lived in Stone Mountain, single parent, was raised in a single parent household, went to Brown University on a scholarship, is now working at Macy's in New York as a buyer, and is doing great things. There's just thousands of stories of young people who are making the most of their lives, and it really boils down to a mentoring relationship, a strong person being there to help guide them.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we really thank you for all that you're doing in the community, and we thank the Big Brothers Big Sisters program for what you're doing in the community also. Is there anything that you would like to leave our guests with today? Contact information, anything that you would like to share?
Yeah, I would just encourage everyone to go to our website. It's bigbrothersbigsisters.org. You can go to our social medias, Facebook, Instagram. We're on all those channels, and look us up and go to the tab that says Become a Big, and it's a very easy process to learn more about what we're doing. But follow us, get out there, talk about the work. If you know someone, have a friend, a brother, or uncle that could do this, sister, tell them about the work and the need.
Okay, and I haven't forgotten now. I told you I'm still going to be meeting with you because I want you to set me up. I'm dedicated. I'm going to be a big. I'm going to see how it works out. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, we're all busy people, but we're never that busy.
Yeah. Again, we appreciate being here to talk about the work. You've heard the challenge. You've heard the results. You've heard that over 95% of our kids graduate high school on time. Over 97% avoid the criminal justice system. I would hope that you want to be a part of that. I'm doing it myself. I'm mentoring a young man, Anthony, who's 8. And I'm just trying to play a role in his life to make sure he didn't make some of the bad decisions I did and can make the most of his life. This is something anybody can do. If you're an adult, we're all busy. I think we can all make time for a young person. And if we all reach out and help one young person, we can make Atlanta the best city in the world. You've heard the results. I hope you will take the time to go to our website to learn more, to become a big. If you're a parent, you have a child who wants to get enrolled, you can go to our website and also do that. But together, we can make Atlanta the best city ever.
Okay. Great stuff. I look forward to working with you in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program.
Yes.
And to our viewers, that is Clearly College Park. And for the Clearly College Park podcast fact, the question was, what was the name of the railroad stop, the railroad station in the city of College Park? The name of that station was Atlantic City. The reason is because the Western and Atlantic Railroad was once here within the city of College Park. And that is your Clearly College Park fact. I'd like to thank you for tuning in today. And remember that Clearly College Park is where you will land in the plain sight.